Sir, to begin with, we would like to know your views on how COVID-19 has impacted the telecom sector.
I think we are all aware of the way COVID has disrupted the entire industry, our way of living, and all that. Um, One of the few better spots in this is the telecom sector. Most industries have suffered. They have not been able to operate, if at all, at a lower level, low capacity. Telecom is one of the few industries that has had a good offtake even during COVID, because it has shown one thing. Telecom has shown that it is necessary for day-to-day living. It has become an instrument of living rather than uh, something extraneous to it. So it has shown that the impact of COVID-19 has actually impressed upon the population at large, and I mean even the common man in the streets, of the need to have good telecom connectivity all the time for his productivity, for his safety, his security, for his quality of living. So that I would say has been a great good impact of COVID-19 as regards the importance of connectivity in modern day life. Uh, as regards aspects of whether it has affected it adversely, yes. In some senses, yes, because shops could not be kept open, the usages, people had to go to different extent to make them available to the public, and the telecom operators have done that. So they have kept it going. And I think, uh, on the whole, the telecom sector has stood up bravely to the COVID and probably helped keep running at a high utilization. Of course, there have been quality issues because when people started working from home, almost every office started working from home, the demand from home, the concentration of traffic changed, and the data demand had gone up by 20 to 30% and running so. And that meant a big strain resources having to run the network at full capacity and to re-optimized tuning. But that has been done, and I think more power to them. That is what I see as the impact of COVID.
So broadly, you've already mentioned, the kind of response that industry stakeholders have had in terms of, ensuring that there's proper connectivity, etc. Some other, specifics that you would want to mention, like how did industry rise to the occasion in particular, and what kind of steps have operators or other service providers taken in this regard?
I think they became the heroes in a way. The telecom sector could well have taken the standard excuse of every other place, saying that, oh, we can't get out on the street, we can't attend to our towers, we can't look at faults. No, but they braved it night and day, 24 by 7. In those days, particularly early days of lockdown, when we started in March and April, everybody was in fear of even looking out. And these people went about, the squads of engineers from the telecom companies went out, ensured everything kept going all the time smoothly, and there was no interruption. I don't think anybody faced any interruption in service. Of course, due to the higher demand, certain things had to be done by, like for example, people are advised to turn off high density and high definition and go to standard definition on that video. But those are expected. Otherwise, we couldn't have coped with the immediate surge in demand. Otherwise, the telecom operators really rose up to the occasion to make available continuous good quality service to all the people. If that had not been so, we would not have been able to manage COVID to this extent as we have had so now till now.
So, sir, based on the current situation, what kind of an outlook do you see for the sector in the next few years?
I think the outlook I see is should be good because COVID has taught us many things. For example, um, the importance of video conferencing, the importance of more productivity. We have all found, even in the telecom sector, we are seeing that in my broadband segment, I'm seeing that it has led to more of productivity. My teams are far more efficient. They are able to, instead of commuting and wasting time and in offices and all that, they are able to churn out far more efficiently. Same is true in telecom companies. I think going forward, these efficiencies and productivities will stay. And like TCS showed the way first by saying that 75% of its people will continue working from home even afterwards. I think that is going to be the order of the day for most of us. And that would mean that has a lot of implications, not only on productivity, of course, but also on costs. Because when you have that, you save a lot of costs. We are seeing that in our day-to-day operations. Our costs have reduced to meet our goals, normal goals. And this is going to continue, I think, after COVID is over. Of course, movements are beginning now. People have started going out more. But nevertheless, the bottom line will remain that you do not need to be running around so much like we were before COVID. You can achieve the end, you can achieve the objectives in a more efficient way. And that's what COVID has taught us. That will remain going forward. What will also remain going forward are the great apps that have been developed in this. Another thing which the sector rose up, our IT sector rose up, was to prepare things like Arogya Setu. Now, more and more apps which can deal with healthcare. We've got telemedicine happening routinely now. Many people are taking to that routinely. These things are going to change the quality of life in a positive way. There have been negative impacts of COVID, that's a separate thing. But a lot of positive impacts are also there, which I believe will stay for the sector's good going forward.
And sir, if you could also, tell us about some of the key technologies or technology trends that you have seen have emerged in the last few months, or they are likely to come to the forefront, especially in the light of COVID-19 outbreak.
Yeah, this is also a very good question because it's actually the play of technology today. Um, see, the telecom pipe is there. It is most essential. It is infrastructure. But if we had only the infrastructure, would we have managed COVID so well? No. We needed both. Riding on the infrastructure, excellent apps. The way we have had more and more innovative video platforms for conferences, which are in fact excelling the brick and mortar conferences. So those sort of innovations have happened. The play of the play of technology is pretty strong, and I think we are also finding more and more of aspects like artificial intelligence to take care of maintenance operations, to run networks, the play of artificial intelligence, the play of more of IoT, the accent on Internet of Things has also gone up due to this. So I think that trend is going to only keep swelling. We are not going to see a lessening of that. So that is going to be improving the efficiency of operations also, uh, like I said before. So new technologies are going to be like AI, intelligence, and hopefully soon 5G. 5G is also going to be soon starting trials, etc. So that's going to be a very big step in the right direction because that goes across several verticals and education, healthcare, factories, all of them are going to benefit. So the COVID is probably hastening that. COVID is also hastening the inclusion, the payment inclusion. Everybody is now into electronic payment with COVID. People do not want to accept paper bills for fear of infection. So these are also great trends that are going to continue the influence of technology in the path forward.
And so my last question for this interaction would be if you could, list out some of the key priorities for industry as well as for the government in a post-COVID world.
Yeah, I think this has taught us a few lessons. See, one thing, if we want to go forward, reaping the benefits of whatever learnings have come because of COVID, we need to do several things. First of all, as regards our digital infrastructure, our digital infrastructure has to be strengthened because it cannot cope with the extent of demand rise that we are seeing now. With people becoming more and more familiar with online work, this is not going to reduce. I think the other day we heard Mr. Sunil Mitra talking about 16 GB and all. Today, easily we are crossed 12 GB per user, and it is still rising. We are not going to see any lessening of this. To cope with that, we need to strengthen and have more robust digital infrastructure. Here again, I've got a few things to say. Generally, when we say digital infrastructure, when we talk of infrastructure, people think of, oh, that means towers, okay, that means fiber, we should have more of towers and fiber. Of course, today, towers, mobile, they constitute the bulk of our broadband play. But that does not complete digital infrastructure. See, when you have more and more of data traffic happening, you need to take them back to the core processors, the nodes. And how do you do that? You can't do it on radio waves. That has to be done on but fiber backhaul is not possible in certain situations, like say Chandni Chowk or Nehru Place. So you need solutions like E-band and V-band to cope with the data surge that is happening there. And that is an immediate requirement. Even today, we have lost time on that. More of E-band, V-band, more of Wi-Fi. See, when so much of broadband work is going on and downloading requirements are so steep, the mobile network cannot be expected to cope with that because that is being unfair to mobile network because that will affect the quality of service. It's not a question of tariffs, it's a quality of service. So if you want to maintain quality of service working from home, your Wi-Fi in the home, your public Wi-Fi hotspots must be far more. They have to be ubiquitous. Here, India is in a very challenged situation. Compared to the world average, you would not believe it, our Wi-Fi hotspots per million population is only 0.5%, 0.5% of the world average. That is 1 by 200 times. I think that's a very sorry state. Unless we correct that soon, you will not be able to cope with the broadband traffic that we expect to see going forward. And that will help improve quality of service on mobile also. Otherwise, the brunt of it. Please bear in mind that even before COVID, the traffic was 70% happening within buildings on mobile traffic. Now with COVID there, it has gone up even more. So we have to improve your Wi-Fi hotspots in a very big way, very urgently. You have to improve E-band, V-band backhaul to provide backhaul for the networks, mobile networks, and for others like Wi-Fi. You have to also use satellite communications. See, satellite communications are there. In normal terrestrial communications, you face various challenges of rolling out fiber, having interruptions, and so on and so forth. And you can't reach difficult to access places. But satellite communications can be had anywhere and everywhere. And all you have to track is the capacity. Surplus capacity is there running waste over India. International satellites are doing that. And like Bharti have announced, they are going to come in with the UK government with low Earth orbitals. And that's going to give a huge broadband capacity. So we have to use satellite in a big way. I think India is still at the bottom of the learning curve there for commercial. We are doing brilliantly on strategic satellite communications, but In commercial satellite communications, we have to go a long way, and that is essential going forward from COVID. Because COVID has taught us that we have to be well prepared. Such pandemics probably are not going to be the end with COVID. This happened in the past. It has happened with Spanish flu. That is a different environment. Today, everybody is going into Industry 4.0. You just cannot afford to have anything but a very robust digital infrastructure. For that, you need all these elements. You need data centers to process the data traffic which you have. You need fiber, you need mobile networks, you need satellite communications, you need Wi-Fi hotspots, you need undersea cables. It's all of them together make up digital infrastructure. And that's a perspective we cannot afford to forget. This is my most important learning which has come from the COVID environment in preparation for the future, for any future challenges. That's what I see as the requirement.